So since the news last week that Marco Rosa is set to take over at Bournemouth, my FM24 video featuring Marco Rosa at RB Leipzig has done a little bit in the last week or so. So I thought it was a perfect time using this preferred 4-2-2 and how well it, if at all, does it fit in at Bournemouth. Let's go. So one thing is, it's quite a clever appointment, I think, on the surface. He plays quite similar in terms of wanting to get the ball forward quickly. There's definitely a counter press and doesn't mind going direct and winning second balls and aggressive out of possession. Often plays this 4-2-2. Has also been known to kind of play a 2-3-1. More you would kind of consider what Bournemouth have been playing, but it's definitely the same principles, and it wouldn't be tricky to morph from either his 4-2-2 to a 4-2-3-1 or for Bournemouth to do the opposite and then be going with Evan Nielsen and is it Junior Krupi up front. That would be pretty scary, I think, for most defenders. So I've taken a little bit of inspiration from the top, like the 23-24 side, which I thought was a really good side until it's, it started to get broken up. There's a couple of players in here that I really like. A couple of players that were coming to the end of their time, in particular Kevin Campbell and Willie Orban, but they've got some quality in here. They've got Schlager, David Rahm, one of my favourite left backs. I would love Manchester United to sign him in the summer. Benjamin Sesko, Openda was decent during this season, and look at the two 10s/wide players in Olmo and Simmons. So what they wanted to do, he was more than happy. Let's get a little, that football is way too small. He wanted to get the ball forward, quickly, directly. Now that could be by building out from the back and moving the ball, hopefully getting it into this man Kevin Campbell as much as possible because he's super clever. But they were more than happy to go along, with having Benjamin Sesko up there, Yusuf Poulsen as another kind of backup. They were quite happy to go along and to feed off second balls, and with Openda's pacing behind for him to go in. Interestingly, we need to get the roles of Simmons and Olmo, and now we set ourselves up. So the in position that we've got in the game is a little bit odd, because if we look at Simmons' heat map, he liked to play off the left. So if we start him as an in possession role in Football Manager, even if we put run into channels, we're still going to get really narrow positions. He liked to stay wide initially and then come in and dribble in. He used to dribble off the left, allowing David Rahm to get in. But initially we want him to stay a little bit kind of wider than a classic number 10. Olmo as well, if you look at Openda's heat map, worked really well in these areas here. Sesko would drop in and Olmo would go beyond. So that's what we're going to try and create in the game. Out of possession, similar to Bournemouth, where they squeeze high, they get into a 4-2-4 out of possession, get up the pitch. Schlager's an excellent player to run and to press, and they would play almost a 4-2-4, and that's quite easy to set up in the game. So here it is. I'm going to go through all the team instructions, player instructions, so you can copy it into your own FM26 save yourself. Don't worry. However, if you want to support the channel, get the free direct downloads and get early access to all the videos, plus Patreon exclusives that come out weeks in advance before they come out on YouTube. Support me as a creator. I would absolutely love it if you go and support. Check out the link down in the description. If not, don't worry. We're going to go through all the in and out of possession so you can put it into your own FM26 save yourself. As always, we've done a save with York City. I literally plugged the tactic in, put myself as unsackable, just so we can see how the season goes, because if York are below the playoffs, I'm probably going to get sacked. So it's important to do that. However, we don't need to worry about playoffs. We have won the league, as you can see, with 93 points. Now, even though we've won the league, that's normally not a score that more often than that will win you the league. So we've had a little bit of luck. We have scored 93, so I count that as like a 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Anything over 90 points is a good tactic. A couple of things that you can, I think, jump out at you straight away. The number of goals, 102, by far 20 more goals than Boreham Wood. Absolutely flying. However, we have conceded 59, which puts us, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right in the mid-table. Look, it's entertaining football, similar to what I think you'll expect from the Bournemouth side. They sometimes concede, they love a 2-3 or a 3-4, or, they score goals, they concede goals. So I think we've got the balance right. I think if you're dominating teams, you're going to have fun. Basically, you're going to have lots of fun with this tactic. I always want to concede less than a goal a game, and we've got over that by a fair bit. But when you're scoring 102, who cares? Right, so this is the tactic that I've put together. So we're going to have a ball-playing goalkeeper, ideally someone that can play out from the back and not go long, but hit long passes, long passes into that centre forward ideally would be good. They may need to sign another striker. If they think Marco Rose is going down with his 4-2-2, they probably need to bring another player in, someone who's maybe a little bit better at holding the ball up, potentially. Ball-playing goalkeeper. On the right, for the Willie Orban role of the two centre-backs, we've gone ball-playing defender, someone who can dribble and drive. So, in the team instructions, if your ball-playing defender is half-decent at dribbling, I would even go dribble more, someone who can carry the ball up pitch. On the other side, the Lukeba role, we've just got a standard centre-back. The two wing-backs, we're not going to go advanced wing-back role that I love, but in the team instructions, player instructions, for both sides, we've got stay wider. Super important they keep their width. Now, the Schlager role, I think you can change this. So if you think he's sitting in a little bit too much, you can go box to box, but I thought that would get in the way of the Simmons role that we're going to use coming in. So I've got a DM for the Schlager role, and then the Campbell role, we've just gone DLP. Moving across to Xavi, any play instructions? Yes, we've included, obviously the other ones are hard-coded, but we've included dribble more in that, and we've got him as a playmaking winger, someone who's going to sit in this kind of half space at times, be wide at times, and then drift in and dribble in. Players could not catch him during that 23-24 season. Olmo, we've just got attacking midfielder. On this right half space as well, so he can hit the space. We're going to have target forward in Cesco. That could also be a DLF as well, so he's going to drop in. If you feel like he's staying a little bit too high, just put Cesco as the DLF and that'll work brilliantly. He'll hold the ball up, allow that space for Olmo to go into. And then for the Openda role, we've just gone channel forward, someone who's just going to work the little bit of width, combined maybe with Ram, as Simmons naturally will come in off that left side onto his right foot. Now, we've got positive mentality in the team instructions, along with, quite simple today, more direct, higher tempo. We're going to counter-attack. In the supporting runs, I've left it balanced. I don't want to slow the play down. If you have the overlaps on, it takes the players in forward areas will wait until the overlaps are in. So I didn't want to slow down the play at all, so I've left it off. And the other thing we've done is progress the play through the middle. He sometimes plays short, he sometimes goes long, so I didn't want to do it. I thought it was a really nice mix of they play when they want to play, sometimes have to play, or sometimes he'll decide to go along and hit a Cesco and hit a Poulsen. So they maybe have to play a little bit, but having said that, Bournemouth go long a lot. Don't rely on winning the first balls. They're just amazing at getting on them second balls. So he may be quite happy to do that next season without actually signing another player, another striker. So there's the in possession. The out of possession, we've lined up in this 4-2-4. Pretty simple. What I've done is I've done a sweeper keeper, obviously for the goalkeeper, because we're going to press high. Two fullbacks on standard. We've got a stopping centre-back. Now, I normally did that because it was Lukeba, and he was very aggressive at going in. So I think that's another one as well that Bournemouth like to do. They're quite happy. If they're playing a 4-2-3-1, is the two wide players be marked by the fullbacks, one of the centre-backs mark the striker, and then if the other centre-back in Senesi or whoever it has been, over Zabani over the times, and Huijsen, he's quite happy to go in there. So that's why I've got a stopper on. And as I said, Lukeba was doing that for Leipzig, so I think that's quite a nice mix. The Campbell role, the deep line playmaker role, wasn't amazing getting around the pitch, as I said in video last week with Nagelsmann, so we're going to go just with a DM alongside a PDM because he's quite happy for Schlager to go in and hunt and press, similar to what Iraola is with Scott. They will man mark, and if someone needs to go in there and follow a 6 in or an 8 in, they're quite happy to do that, no problem. On the right and the left, we've gone with just two standard wingers. They do have to help out defensively. It's not an outlet where they're allowed to cheat and do a little bit of a Mo Salah and Kvaratskhelia that we've covered in earlier videos, where they're allowed to not cheat, but staying a little bit higher. But what we have got on is on the target forward, we've also got a tracker. Someone who can just come in and potentially sit on that number 6. I think that's important when you're playing with two central midfielders. Super important, even though we're going to go quite narrow. It's super important that you've still got someone coming in and potentially picking up that centre forward. That number 6 for them. And then for the Openda role, the pace, I've gone centre, outlet, forward. Someone who's going to be their opportunity to maybe hit on the break, long pass, clearance, chase after it, get the team up the pitch. Now, the team instructions for out of possession: aggressive, high press, much higher line, much more trigger press, counter pressing. We're being super aggressive. Trapping outside because we want that ball to go on the out because we potentially will lose numbers in the middle. It's super important that we force that play outside rather than progression coming through the middle. Disrupt the press, allow that keeper really to go long. He wants those duels. And defensive line behaviour, step up more. That is Marco Rosa's 4-2-2. I hope you've enjoyed that. Let me know how you think he's going to get on Bournemouth. Check out that Patreon for the tactic download. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care. See you later.